So the inventory policy, like I mentioned, as the backbone of demand planning, like what decision making that goes into what you are going to order for each product. So I'll just quickly run us through this, then take us to an Excel template that I did like a tool. I know a lot of us use different inventory softwares, and for those that don't, so I will just use that opportunity to walk us through how we can something on our own to do demand planning and generate what we need to buy in terms of replenishment, like the order that we need to send to our supplier. So the first one is average daily run rate. Already mentioned this. It depends on the period. It could be the past 1 week, the past 1 month, or the past 1 year. So we just need to take average of that and the maximum daily average. So let's say for the last 1 month, the total sales, like I mentioned, let's say it was 1,000, and you divided by that by 30 to get the average. Average is that daily run rate, like what you are selling on a daily basis. So within that 30 days, there will be a point where you add like the highest sales for the month. So that's what we call the maximum daily run rate. So the next one is the lead time. Like for that product, what is the average lead time from your supplier? So let's say for the 30 days, you add 2 days, sometimes 3 days, 4 days, you take the average. But when you now look at it, there will be a time when you add like the longest lead time from your supplier. That's also important. So when we get to that Excel, I'll show you how all these are related. So these four parameters that I mentioned, number one, the daily run rates, number two, the maximum daily average, number three, the average lead time, and the maximum you now use to calculate the safety stock. Safety stock is something that you keep in case, like in case. I mentioned one peculiarity of your 20% that contributes to 80% of your margin that you can't afford to lose on them. So those products, how are you going to determine the extra that you need to keep on them? So that is majorly around multiplying the maximum daily run rate multiplied by the maximum lead time. Then you now subtract the daily run rate multiplied by daily lead time from it. So you get the maximum of this. I don't know if you can see the calculation here. So it's straightforward. You multiply maximum daily average, multiply maximum lead time, then minus average daily run rate minus
You
average
are
lead
you
time.
showing the Excel sheet already?
No, I just want to run through it before I go to the
Okay,
Excel.
all right.
Yeah. So the next one is the minimum. So the minimum is normally the reordering point. So that is when the point that when your inventory gets to, you have to place a new order. And that is average of the run rates multiplied by average lead time. So that's your minimum inventory. So let's say the average run rate is 30 and the lead time is 2. So it means once you get to 60, you have to place a new order. You don't wait till you get to zero because your lead time is 2 days and you sell 30 on daily basis. So if you are not applying any safety stock, when once it gets to that 60, which is your minimum level, then you place the order. So the next one is maximum. So anything above that maximum, then you declare overstock. So let's say the maximum that you sold in January was 100, and the lead time is the longest lead time that you had was 10. So that means your maximum inventory is 1,000. So anything above that 1,000 is overstock. So all the thing we are been discussing around how to optimize inventory, that's when you need to take action. Take action to maybe you need to do if you see expiry risk or to cut down the orders that you are sending to your supplier. So the last one is the order level. Like how do you determine what quantity do you need to buy? That's your replenishment. That's you generating the order that you need to send to supplier. So which is maximum minus your current balance, like what you currently have. So in a case whereby the maximum inventory that you calculated is more than your current balance, then you are going to generate a replenishment, like you have an active order. But when that maximum is lower than your current balance, which means you are overstock already, then you are not going to generate any order. So let me quickly share the Excel and we walk through that together. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it now.
Okay. I try to increase the font size so that it will be. Yeah.
Yes, we
So
can see.
we just want to demonstrate this with seven products. And like I mentioned, the source of this data, so like the balance quantity, so that's your current balance, like the current stock that you have in the pharmacy. So the average run rate, like let's say we are planning for February now. So we are looking at what was the average for January. So which is the total sales for January divided by 30, by 31 rather, because they are 31 uh, in January. So the maximum run rate, like the maximum sale that you had for that particular product. So if the average is 500, then there was a particular product. So there was a particular day that we sold 800 of that product. So that is the maximum run rate. Then the average lead time. So we add different lead time, maybe 2 days, sometimes three, sometimes six, seven, eight. But what is the average? That is 5 days in January. But there was a time that we had like the longest delay from our supplier. So that's 8 days maximum lead time. So to now calculate the safety stock, like I show in the formula, so it will be maximum run rates multiplied by maximum lead time, right? Then you take it from average run rates multiplied by average lead time. So it means for product A, the safety stock is 3,900 for product A. And when you look at it, the current inventory is 2,000. So automatically, your current balance is lower than the safety stock. Then you have to place an order. So for product B, your safety stock is 210 and your current balance is 1,800. So let's go to the next one, which is minimum. From the formula, minimum is average lead time multiplied by average run rate. And maximum is maximum lead time multiplied by maximum run rate. Yeah. So the last one is now to determine the the other quantity. So the other quantity will now be the maximum. So for this product A now, you must not go above 6,400 for that product. If it is 6,401, that one is overstock, like excess. For product B, if you get to 2,400 and 242, that extra two is overstock. So when you want to generate the reorder quantity, that will be maximum minus the current balance. So which means for product A, you need to buy 4,400 to go back to maximum. For product B, this is negative 1,560. So you don't need to buy anything. And like I mentioned, the maximum this thing for maximum balance for this product is 240, and your current inventory is already saying 1,800. So you are already overstock on this product. The same thing with product C. The maximum is 300 and you add 400 already. So you already overstock by 100. So this is just going to tell you where you need to order and where what you have is enough. So for product A, you need to order. Product B, you don't need to order. C, the same thing. This one you need to order. So beyond using this tool to generate the order quantity, you can also use it to now do an assessment of your overstock. Because if you look at it now, this 1560 is saying that your current balance is more than your maximum by this quantity. So it is this 1560 that you now need to take action on. Like, because this is the excess inventory that you are keeping. Your run rate is 10. You are selling average of 10 in a day. And the maximum that you sold in the last month was 40. So how do you get to keeping 1,800 when your safety stock is even to 10? So that is how to use this tool. Let me go back.
On YouTube, you have just 5 minutes. Do
Okay.
we want to, do we should we take a do we have any questions now before we
Yeah,
go into
especially around the demand planning tool. Is there any question from anyone?
if there's any question we can take it now before we go into the finance part. So after the
Yeah.
finance part, we can take everything together. Okay, Yusuf, you can go ahead in your 5 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm just going to run through this because we've kind of really discussed them. So the replenishment plan, like in terms of your inventory control, can either be continuous, periodic, and forced reordering. From the last slide that I showed, you saw that it is possible to be out of stock before the end of the month. So that is continuous system. So you are not waiting for a particular time when you are going to send order to supplier. You are doing a continuous, like you do review every day, and for products that are that are close to minimum or less than to top to maximum, you generate order and share with supplier. So there's periodic when you only limit your ordering to the end of the month or a particular time. Maybe it's at the end of every week or anything. So that means you go to the system and generate all the products that you need to top to max. And the last one is forced reordering. So that's when you need to generate a kind of emergency order. So let me just quickly run through. Um, there are some relatable experiences that I would just like to highlight.